It's Reefer Madness, the podcast, with Trevor and Kirk.
So, Trevor, we're back.
Kirk, we're back. Well, let's do the quick review. For those who don't know, where did you start? Like, where's Reefer Madness based out of, and how did you get there, and what was your transportation, and where did you go?
Reefer Madness, the podcast, is based out of Manitoba, Dauphin, Manitoba, Canada. We, my wife and I, took a trip up to Flin Flon, which is about 4 to 6 hours, depending on the vehicle and how many times the puppy had to pee. So yes, Michelle and I and the puppy in Van Hoot drove up to Flin Flon in a headwind.
Van Hoot, it is literally the name of their vehicle.
We're calling it Van Hoot.
Follow along.
Just for the hell, it's coffee colored. It's a hoot to drive, and it's been known to have some medicinal hoots in it. So we drove up to Flin Flon in a headwind all the way in a V8 305 GMC V8, and it's like the old days of traveling with that lovely smell of gas coming from the exhaust. There's no catalytic. I think there's a catalytic converter, but there's no electronics in it. You have to wind down the window. It's got the no drafts. It's lovely. 1983 Rally Sport. Yeah, so we went up to Flin Flon. There are 2 stores in Flin Flon. I talked to both of them. The one store was not prepared to talk to me. But it was a nice store. It was in a hotel. And then the next store, I posted it, and I met the owner, and the owner told us a really cool story. Spencer told us a really good story about what was in the building before he did his retail store in it. So that's kind of cool. From there,
yeah, it's almost a ghost of cannabis past kind of story.
Yeah,
and I really like that Spencer said, I was thinking about getting into a new business. I thought maybe I'd start a construction company, but I've got a hemp shop now.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's doing fine, because I can tell you, man, in all these hemp shops I went to, there was never empty. None of the shops were empty. There was always a customer coming in. From there, we traveled down the northern highway of Saskatchewan and went to Prince Albert, a town that I've always wanted to go to.
So help me situate Prince Albert. I know Flin Flon is right on the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border, a little bit north of us. Whereabouts is Prince Albert?
You're going to be going southwest to almost the center of Saskatchewan. It's the most northern major city of Saskatchewan, if you're going to call a major city. And it's a big city. It has 3 cannabis shops. And I got a story from there at 5 Buds. I spoke to a fella there. And Dustin, thank you. I spoke to him. I went to another shop and had a lovely conversation with a lady. She told me a fantastic cannabis story, and I was really happy to have it. She was very nervous. I got a text from her soon after I left saying that the owners of the shop don't want any advertising, don't want me to do anything, so I can't tell that story. Then down the hill, as I was getting back on the highway, I realized, there's another shop, and it looked like a First Nations shop. So I went in there looking for a story, and I talked to the owner, I talked to the manager. None of them wanted to give me a story. I said, okay, fine, no worries. So got back in the Van Hoot and headed towards Alberta. We got into Cold Lake very late, and there was no camping anywhere in Cold Lake. So we ended up going into a small little lake, and had a wonderful, wonderful evening in this small little private lake. From there, we went to Slave Lake and had a conversation with Fire and Flower.
And situate Slave Lake for us. In relation to Edmonton.
North, almost directly north. And it's central north, almost parallel to Lac La Biche. Okay. You got Lac La Biche, you got Athabasca, Slave Lake, High Prairie, Grand Prairie, sort of that highway, which is another northern highway. So Michelle and I purposely took the most northern highways of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. And yeah, I got another great story from Jordan in Slave. So there's 3 road stories. It's interesting.
Yeah, I like that Jordan's story had a relative, an auntie involved in it. I thought that was a sweet story.
Yeah, it's a great story. So I'm hoping everyone will enjoy these stories. Traveling right now, Trevor, and I think I said this in another episode, where there's this window of opportunity where the province has opened up, but it's odd. It feels really odd. I still carry a mask in my pocket. I'm going to say 70% of the time I walk in and remember to wear the mask, and I look around and going, oh, geez, I'm the only one. So you get a little self-conscious, and then I keep remembering that masks protect other people from me, but yet I have a mask that's actually an N95. It's a cloth mask that puts filters inside of it, so it actually is an N95. So in some ways, I am protecting myself, but it's an odd time we live in, my friend. This traveling during COVID.
It is, and just because, for the record, I'm double vaccinated. I mentioned traveling in a previous episode, so yes, I'm wearing masks more often than not, and where it's legally required, but also got the whole double vax before I started moving around.
Yeah, I've been double vax for, I think 3 months already. So yeah, it's so old news. I still can't figure out. Anyways, we're not going to get into that.
This is not.
No.
Traveling. Traveling's good, and there's cannabis stories to be had.
So people, please enjoy this. I'm still in Alberta. I'm hoping. I've got a couple storylines I want to work on. I'm in Lac La Biche, and I went to the two stores. I went to Spirit Leaf, and I went to Equilibrium. Both stores were busy. I didn't feel comfortable asking for a story because they were so busy. But I do have Derek and I. Funny enough, Derek Iwascu, who I interviewed in Small Town Alberta episode, whatever episode number it is. Michelle and I are camping. For the first 2 weeks we were here, we were in the driveway of Michelle's other sister. And right across the alley is Derek. And it's like, oh, hey,
well, there you go.
How are you doing? So yeah,
hey, neighbor.
He's a neighbor. Hi, howdy, neighbor. So yeah, he's seen me crawl out of Van Hoot in the morning and take the dog for a walk, and so yeah, I'm going to interview him. I got a storyline I want to go with him, so we'll catch up on his little enterprise. His enterprise has grown, and then I hope to get down to Parkland Flower and see our friend down there, Kaylee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm going to go see her. And then we're down to Hempfest. But yeah, traveling in COVID.
All right.
Traveling in COVID.
Well, stay safe. And next time I see you, it will be in Hempfest. So there'll definitely be some episodes from there. So stay tuned, everybody, and enjoy this traveling interludes episode.
We'll see what Renee puts together. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. All right, so we've got 3 stories here. We'll just play the 3 stories in a row, and we'll start off in Flin Flon with a talk with Spencer Payson.
I'm Spencer Payson, owner of Payson's Joint, Flin Flon, Manitoba. I opened the store back in December 2016. Journey kind of started around like June of that year. I was actually looking to open a construction company, and my friend kind of talked me into opening a head shop. So he also works in the industry and kind of like foreseen that, cannabis was going to be legalized soon. So figured I had worked for him in the past. This was a great idea. Working for him was one of the best jobs I ever had.
I bet.
So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So over the next couple months, I spent some time finding a location and found this building. Interesting story about this building is that person that owned it previously, they were actually busted for selling cannabis out of the store. Oh. And when they were busted, they said that when they were arraigning them on the charges and how much cannabis they had, it was short. So when I bought the building, the electrician told me, they came up short from what they originally knew they had. So there might be cannabis in here somewhere. So me and my buddy had been spending about a month cleaning up the entire store because this place was just filled with junk. And there used to be a kiosk over there in the corner that took up about almost a quarter section of the store. And we were hacking it up with a Sawzall. And we had maybe 2 loads left to carry out. and we had just taken a load of the dump, came back in, and there was this bag on the floor. Didn't really think much of it. Just thought it was like one of those bags that was in a box, to kind of like fill it up so stuff wouldn't move around. So I kicked it out of my way. It's like, yeah, let's pick up this, this, and this. That should be a load. And I turn around, my buddy's holding this bag, and he's like, dude. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's just a bag, like a cushion bag. I grab it, and I quickly realize it's a bag filled with weed. I'm just like, so that's a load. Let's get out of here. So we jumped in my truck. We drove home. And pulled out the bag. We weighed it out. It turned out to be a half pound.
And good weight?
Yeah. It was lemon skunk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Could tell as soon as I smelled it. But yeah. So then slowly got the store in order. Got all the merchandise. It was pretty much a one-man show. A couple of friends came around when I received all the merchandise, helped me set up the showcase and everything. I had one friend help me unpack everything, load the store up, and yeah.
Wonderful. So did you have a head shop first, or you
started off as a head shop, and then last year in November 2020, we opened as a cannabis store. Got our license in mid-October.
So where is the cannabis? I don't have...
Cannabis is all throughout the store.
Okay.
So like almost all the showcases, all those bins are all filled with cannabis.
Okay, so at nighttime then you don't lock it up in a safe? You must lock it up in a safe.
Yeah, we got a vault in the back.
Okay, so it's all out. Wow.
Yeah.
And what's it like? I mean, you're so far away from everywhere in Flin Flon.
Yeah.
What's it like getting cannabis up here, accessing it?
Oh, it's pretty easy. Yeah, we just have a order cycle every 2 weeks. Manitoba now has a weekly order cycle, but just for sake of paying bills and everything, I just order on the 2-week schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what you got, like each one of those boxes is cannabis?
Yep.
Wow, you got a lot of cannabis in your store.
Yeah, we got over about like 250 products.
Oh, wow. How do you keep track of it all?
A very amazing POS system.
I guess, eh?
Yeah, this is the first store I own, but I've opened up 2 other stores for other companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since you opened up this one?
Yeah.
So,
before I opened this one. Yeah.
Okay. Not in Flin Flon, obviously.
No. So the first store I opened was in Assiniboia, Saskatchewan. I opened up a joint cannabis store there. And then I opened up another store in Virden, Manitoba, Cannabis 204.
That's wonderful, man.
All right, and from Flin Flon, Kirk traveled on to Prince Albert, where he got a short My Cannabis story from Dustin.
So I'm Dustin Pilon. I work at the Five Buds in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. I got into cannabis when the store opened back in January. It's kind of a new thing for me, but it's something I'm learning every day. It's just kind of why I got into it, right? New experiences and kind of something I really like to enjoy doing, so...
How long have you been working at Five Buds?
Since we opened in January.
Okay.
So just a few months now.
And what did you do before you were a cannabis bud
I
tender?
was a stay-at-home dad, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed at home. I took care. I have 5 kids altogether, a couple step-kids, a couple of my own. So yeah.
Cool.
And then Kirk traveled on to Slave Lake, where he spoke with Jason Peters, who shared his My Cannabis story.
I'm Jaron Peters. I run a cannabis shop here in Slave Lake. I guess for my story, I'll just start how I began smoking cannabis, right? So it was before legalization. My auntie was an advocate in BC. She got me into it, and it just started with helping me mentally. I had a lot of depression, I had a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. I was never really thought I was going to get to the position I'm at now in cannabis industry. And a lot of what she said resonated with me because it wasn't about just getting high. It was, helping day by day, doing stuff just around the house, even just having a happier attitude going places. I used to have a really hard time going to like West Edmonton Mall, stuff like that with lots of people. But I find now if I have like something CBD even before I go in, I'm just in a lot better mindset walking into these places. Throughout the years after I lost my auntie is when I actually came into the cannabis industry because I wanted to just continue on that path where she wanted to go. She wanted to see it legalized. She unfortunately passed away 2 months before legalization. So it was unfortunate in that. But I figured if I can keep going the way she wanted to go and just having everybody happy and smoking, kind of figure, it'd be a good way to help her memory. That's why I wear this instead of a lanyard. This is actually hers from before she passed away.
Okay.
So
that's your story.
Yeah.
So there are some road stories from Kirk as he travels around Alberta. And of course, Trevor and Kirk are going to be at Hempfest in Calgary collecting a lot more stories. So keep listening to Reefer Madness, the podcast. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, do all those things. All right, so let's get to some music. Kirk had suggested, because he's in Alberta, perhaps we play some Cor Blund or Ian Tyson. So I'll go one better, and we'll play a song from Cor Blund featuring Ian Tyson. It's called Right On.
Like the show? Let us know. We're Reefer Madness on Instagram and Facebook, at Reefer Madness on Twitter, or head over to the website at reefermed.ca to find out what we're all about and what's coming up next. Talk to you later.
It's another lonely evening in another lonely town. Well, I ain't too young to worry, 'cause I ain't too old to cry when a woman gets me down. Got another empty bottle, and another empty bed. Ain't too young to admit it, no, I ain't too old to lie. I'm just another empty head. That's why I'm lonely. I'm so lonely. But I know just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ride on, ride on, ride on. Standing at the edge of the road with my thumb in the air. Ride on. One of these days I'm gonna change my evil way. Ride on. Till then I'll just keep riding this pony on down the trail. Broke another promise. How I broke another heart. Well, I ain't too young to realize that I ain't too old to try to get back to the start. It's another red light nightmare. On another red light street. Well, I ain't too old to hurry, 'cause I ain't too old to die. But I sure am hard to beat. That's why I'm lonely. I'm so lonely. But I know just what I wanna do. Ride on, ride on, ride on. Got myself a one-way ticket, going the wrong way. Gonna change my evil ways. One of these days. One of these days. Ride on, ride on. I'm gonna ride on, ride on. Looking for a truck. Ride on. Keep on riding. Ride on, ride on.
I just realized I have
Okay.
a beautiful negligee hanging in the back there. Just realized that.